Beautiful friends, we have today vitamin Esteem, or we could also call this vitamin deeper down in its core as vitamin of self-esteem. So if we go to this vitamin, what it means to esteem is, the definition is to regard highly, to regard with respect and admiration, and to consider of a certain value or of a certain type. Now, this is something that I feel is really, important to point on that esteem doesn't mean when we regard highly in a sense that then we see somebody who is not as high or is low, that we are looking as humanity, as anyone, around us. At least that's what my intention is, to find in each person a way to esteem them, to honor them. In other words, to see in everyone the good, and having the respect and admiration, finding something that is positive value in each person and build on it. In today's world, when people speak, they usually speak about the things that they do not have or they lack. And this is what we are learning here, is actually not to live from the place of what we do not have, but actually start seeing things that we would like to have or we have. And that is part of just kind of, really of this vitamin, esteem, to go deeper and realize that down deep, there are so many different facets of having the gratitude for the life that we are living. How do we show esteem to other people? We show it when we actually show respect. And to respect means valuing others' feelings. And also other people's views, even in case that we don't necessarily agree with them. Accepting them on an equal basis and giving them to the same consideration you would expect for yourself. This is just so, really beautiful and important, that we value, how other people feel. We don't want to change other people's feelings. You should feel this way. You should not feel sad, or you should not feel angry, or you should not feel this. Just valuing what people actually feel, and also therefore their views. And many times, especially in this world that we are living in, it's a world that a lot of people can have different opinion on so many different, things of society and life, right? And just having that sense of respecting the views of other people is very important, and really accepting them, equal. So when you tap into these couple of things, esteem and how we show it, what is really important as the next step is knowing just kind of who you are, who I am, and what is our worth, what is your worth. And I have just a little fun description to show it, okay? This is an iron bar, okay? And just think what is the value, okay, of this, iron bar? And as I was searching for the value, it's about $100, okay? Now, if you decide to make a horseshoe, its value would increase to about 250. Same, just kind of, piece of an iron. If you decide to make these needles, right, then the value goes even more up, okay? And it's up to $70,000 from the amount of just kind of that iron bar has, okay? And then if you decided to produce watch, the value would increase about 6 million. So why I'm bringing this, and this is very important, is to realize that your and my value is not just what you are made of, but above all, in what ways you and I can make the best of who we are. This is so, so important, right? So it's not only what we are made of, but what we are creating in our world. And I love this. I don't know who said that, but just kind of, this is such a beautiful quote. Again, just if you need to replace some word that it's more, palatable to you, please do so. But it says God spent a long time crafting you, and God doesn't make worthless things. Just think about it. Whatever he creates, it's perfect. Because he cannot help, but that's who he is. In our eyes, we can see things as imperfect. But in his eyes, whatever he creates is just perfect creation. And what is really beautiful to see is that he doesn't make anything that is not worthy. So, so beautiful, right? So respect and esteem just begin really with oneself. It's just, really start, how we are seeing ourselves. You can see this picture here, of a little cat looking just in the mirror, right? And it's just up to us what we would like to see. We can either see a lion or we can see just something else, right? It starts just kind of, really all the way back, just, from our perspective, how we are just kind of, looking at ourselves. So really just, having respect and esteem and self-esteem is knowing that you are enough as you are today. You are enough. You have always been enough, and you always will be enough. It's just, your birthright and my birthright. Because people always think I need to be more this or I need to be less this. And anytime we just, do that we should be something else, we should be more on this, on that. It's kind of, like an uphill battle. It doesn't mean that I do not want to improve, but it means from what kind of a place I am coming to create just kind of, that improvement. And if it's coming from the place I am enough, I am a God's creation, and he doesn't create worthless things, okay? So knowing that goodness, who you are, it's something that you cannot subtract or add. It's simply, our birthright. Now, what else does it mean? Just kind of, being enough. What does that mean? Okay. And this is something really important. Being enough is your mind's capability and your heart's capacity to create an authentic, kind, non-judgmental, compassionate, and the most loving relationship with others and yourself, while knowing that you are or they are God's or universe perfect creation. So really, if you look at it, just being enough is just kind of, like expanding on that capacity to really realize that we can create the most loving relationship with ourselves and others. Because when we do that, that's what creates the sensation and feeling being enough. That's what really cultivates the esteem, and seeing that esteem in ourselves and also other people, around us. So we can look a little bit just kind of what those things, authentic, kind, not judgmental, compassionate, really mean. So what is authentic? Authentic means that we really see who we truly are. Many times, just kind of when we look in the mirror, we just, see the flaws, the wrinkles, the unevenness, the aging, or whatever that could be, right? Rather than being able to see yourself as a really beautiful soul, beautiful creation, right? So authentic is kind of going deep and knowing that you are God's creation. And as a God's creation, you can start cultivating, having a relationship toward yourself that is very deep and authentic. Because if you esteem yourself as a God's creation, it means that you will talk to yourself in a certain way. You might be also considering to put in your body things that are going to be nurturing and supporting you. You will be mindful just the way you speak, how you show up, for yourself and for other people. One thing that I just, put here is another picture in these days. As you know, we have phones, and on the phone you can take a picture of yourself and you can completely create just, something else from that picture, right? Something that it doesn't even look like you. And many people like to do that, just, changing things, changing the shades, changing just kind of the colors, right? Erasing the wrinkles or whatever that is, okay? And as beautiful as it could be, we are not actually then honoring who we truly deeply are, that we are just, truly God's, creation. It doesn't mean that we don't take care of ourselves, that we don't want to look great. That's awesome. But if that is only on the surface, how we value ourselves, it's going to be very difficult then to see the deep creation in other people around us if we don't see it in ourselves. So that's just kind of, what the authentic, is. Non-judgmental, there is kind of a beautiful quote here. When you choose to see the good in others, you end up finding the good in yourself, right? As soon as we place any non-useful thought about ourselves or others, we experience just kind of certain amount of pain. It's either sadness or anger, or we are annoyed, or we are disappointed, right? And so being non-judgmental, it's something that the need to cultivate is on daily basis. Because as I spoke about it in the other vitamins, what our minds want to do always is going just kind of, for the negativity, for something that it's not there and should be there, right? So being not judgmental is just really creating a space within ourselves to gain the awareness when we are thinking non-useful thoughts. Okay, so non-useful thought is any thought that it's causing you feeling pain. Okay, and we have lots of thoughts during the day that can be non-useful. I am too slow. I should not eat as much. I am not as good, in housekeeping. I am not a good grandma, I'm not good this or that, right? Just there are so many unuseful thoughts that we have. And when we have that, it's just very difficult to have esteem, toward ourselves, right? And you have only as much just kind of esteem toward yourself, that you can create, for others. So the way we expand the esteem, toward ourselves, it's going to also show up the way we are going to be with our children, with our spouses, and the people around us. So this is something really, really just kind of, important, just kind of while cultivating just kind of this vitamin esteem. The other part is, being compassionate. There are two, again, parts of it, okay? We many times know just, how to be compassionate just, toward other people. But there is also having compassion on ourselves, right? It's just always two ways, how am I being compassionate? Because if I'm compassionate toward myself, I esteem, myself, okay? And when I am compassionate to other people, I esteem, other people, right? And then being kind, again, something that we a little bit touched on with the vitamin R last time. Same thing, just kind of, like finding the opportunity, just kind of, to create the kindness, around us. And then loving, right? Just again, just kind of, having the kind and loving relationship, with other people. But it starts again, having a very healthy relationship with ourselves. So those are just kind of components. If I go all the way back again, that being enough is your mind's capacity and capability, and it's mind's capability and heart's capacity to create an authentic, kind, non-judgmental, compassionate, and the most loving relationship with others and yourself, while knowing that you are God's perfect creation, right? So this is kind of, talking how we can expand that mind's capability and heart's capacity. And then I would like you just kind of consider 5 following points that you can cultivate just kind of the vitamin esteem this week, okay? You can take one of them, or you can just kind of go 2 of them, or all 5 of them, okay? So number 1, how to cultivate it is that we do not measure or compare ourselves as worse, not good enough, or better than. As it says here, you can see these 2 kittens, right? 2 cats, one of them catches the bigger mouse, the other one a smaller mouse, right? And really what it says is true, that comparison is the thief of joy. Please write it down. Any comparison is the thief of joy. I just want you to think about it. Maybe you will be able to then give me some examples. There is a quote from Lao Tzu, and it says, when you are content to be simply yourself and do not compare or compete, everyone will respect you. When you are content and be simply yourself and do not compare and compete, everyone will respect you, including yourself. So that's one way to cultivate the esteem, that we drop, the comparison, and really finding the way we can treasure the other person, rather than saying I'm better than, or I'm worse than, right? Because that's how we many times live and measure ourselves, right? So that's one way. The second way is replacing fear-based thinking with love-based thinking, okay? And I found just kind of with this really just kind of beautiful quote from Deepak Chopra. He says, replace fear-based thinking with love-based thinking. Every time you are making a choice, ask yourself if it's going to cultivate the experience of unity and love or the experience of separation and stress, right? So this is really beautiful. Just, like he's expanding on it, saying like anytime you are making a choice, whatever it is, because we make tons of choices during the day, every single, just, being here, watching this, listening now, it's a choice, okay? Just every single minute, we just kind of make some choice. So he's saying every time you are making a choice, ask yourself if it's going to cultivate the experience of unity and love or experience of separation and stress. And that's a really good cue how to just kind of, start replacing fear-based thinking with love-based thinking, because a lot of us, on this earth, we are living from the fear-based thinking, which has a lot of scarcity, a lot of anger, a lot of not enough, right? Rather than just, really start thinking from the love-based way. So this is beautiful, right? So that's the second way how we can cultivate, esteem, just in this way, because we speak in a different way. We are showing up in a different way if it's love-based thinking. We are treating other people and ourselves in a different way. Even people who might be difficult to love or they might be challenging to love, we are going to be the ones who are going to be stepping up from the being love. Now, number 3 is we let go of comparison and cultivate the feeling of goodness instead. So again, just kind of, it's really seeing the good, right? Anything that you have currently in your life, with your health, within your family, your relationships, within just kind of your finances, or anywhere in your life, okay? See if you can just kind of, see some good in that challenge, right? Like you have just kind of, this picture of a tree that's basically kind of cut in half, so I can even see as everything bare, and dirt and not enough sunshine and a lot of clouds. Or I can see the grass, I can see the leaves, I can see the beautiful blue sky, right? And again, so it's something that is just so, well for cultivating, esteem, to be aware how grateful I am for the things that are beautiful around me, and the goodness even in the things that can be challenging, like you might have your spouse or a child might be sick and needs to be taken care in a hospital. You can look at it from that half, of the bare tree, right? Or you can look at it from the other place, like I'm so grateful for the care, she or he receives. What amazing stuff of the, specialists and doctors and nurses, he or she has, etc. This is so, important, right? And then number 4, we let off fear by inviting the unconditional love for others and ourselves. And here's kind of, a beautiful quote from Brené Brown when she says, talk to yourself like someone you love, right? So it's again just going back, creating that unconditional love toward yourself. Am I talking myself when I get up first thing in the morning like someone I love, right? Am I talking to myself when I go through a highway and people are trying to cut me off, right? Do I talk to myself like I, love myself, or am angry? Why did they do this? They are so stupid, right? Just the judge from that place of a judging, right? So always just kind of, asking yourself, how am I talking to myself? What is the inner quiet language? Do I talk to myself as someone, who I really, really love? So there are 4 of these just kind of, prompts, right? I have: don't measure or compare yourself as better than or worse than. Number 2 is replace fear-based thinking with love-based thinking. And then letting go of comparison and cultivating the feeling of goodness. And then also talking to myself as to someone I really, really love. So I think that this is such a, a beautiful way to just, look at, our lives. I think that one of the things that, we could look in the mastery of this vitamin Esteem can start with something even simple as our body. If I give it just kind of, like an example, because many times just kind of, we are in a war with our body. We do not like that the body doesn't work as it should be, or that it doesn't look the way it should be, it doesn't function certain parts as they should be, right? So one really important principle here, if I would start working with the vitamin Esteem regarding my body, is stop being just kind of, at war, with my body. Be thankful for what I have. And when I am thankful, I will end up just kind of, having more. So the mantra here, just kind of, think about your body, think about the challenges you might be facing within your body, okay? And you can think about it. My body is unique and amazing creation that deserves love, appreciation, and celebration. Just think about it. If you just would look at your body, no matter of the age, no matter of some functions of the joints or organs that might not be just kind of the way as it was when you were 20 or younger, but have that mantra: my body is unique, an amazing creation that deserves love, appreciation, and celebration. What a beautiful way, that would be to really cultivate, the vitamin Esteem. So many times people focus with the body on the appearance rather than on the health, right? So something, this is really important, just kind of, I can shift from what I just kind of, see from the appearance to just kind of focusing on, on the health. Like one of my my lines in my personal document and manifesto is: I'm strong, healthy, and shining example of aliveness. So it's just you create yourself into something. So if I say something, I'm strong, healthy, and in a great shape and a shining example of aliveness, I'm creating myself into it, right? And it's more just kind of, helping me to see the body to from the place of health rather than from just kind of, only the appearance, right? And the second thing, just kind of with the vitamin Esteem around the body, that I would just, suggest is not fighting or hating the current circumstance, such as it can be having cold or flu, or in a need of surgery, or being pregnant, whatever that is, and transform the pain or discomfort in having compassion, toward myself. Because as I cultivate the compassion, that helps me just kind of have, esteem toward my body and treat my body in a certain way. So play with this. It's a beautiful, beautiful, just, vitamin that can be expanded. And I will see you for the next vitamin that we will have.